I'm talentless, yo. I can't. Can I be honest? I don't really think I'm all that talented either. You know what I feel like sometimes, guys? If you call someone talented, you could possibly be disrespecting that person's effort. Because sometimes calling something talent could also mean you're just kind of assuming that that person was born with that. But when in reality, they might have worked hard for it. You know how people say, oh, J-Hope is so talented at dancing? But we can't even imagine how many hours J-Hope has spent dancing. Even in the documentaries that we just see a glimpse, you know how they're always practicing? They're always practicing, even with the camera off. So, is it really talent? If anything, sometimes what I think is talent is not even what you're given with. Talent is how much you're able to put effort in it. So the amount of effort that you could dedicate might be the talent. And I always feel very guilty because, you know, who I've been feeling really guilty because of is Mark from NCT. With the recent thing, how I think it's almost similar to his retirement in some sense. He's same age as me, guys. And if you look back, he has released so many solo music, so many group music. He practiced so much, he does so many content. He gave his everything and he's same age as me. And it makes me think, guys, have I gave my everything? Definitely not as much as Mark. And it makes me think, we're same age, but that person is living his life way more intense than I am. He's trying harder in life than I am. I'm not saying I'm not trying hard, but he definitely is trying harder than almost anybody, right? Do you guys agree? I know comparison is a thief of joy. I'm not comparing in the sense where I'm a loser. That's not what I'm saying. I should look up. You know, I used to think that you could only look up to people who are older than you, but now that I'm at my age, I think there's so many people who's same age as me, even younger, that I could look up to. And Mark, I always knew it, but it gave me a realization like, wow, did you guys know Mark has an interview where he says, I don't think music is my path? He literally said, I've been working on a lot of music and I realized that I'm not born to be a musician. He said that. He said this path is not for me. Not recently, he said this a while ago. But he said he's just gonna try his best. And it made me think, even Mark said he doesn't feel like he was born to do this. He doesn't feel like he has talent for this. And it makes me think, oh wow, if Mark felt like that, no wonder why I feel like that. Do you guys agree? No wonder. So it's not about how good you are for you to feel like, oh, I'm good enough to do this job. Maybe there's no such thing as, you know, such level. Because I felt the same thing, but seeing Mark say that made me think, okay, this feeling is valid. And even though I mentioned Mark, I also feel the same way when I look at BTS because, how could they be so famous and still try so hard? Isn't that crazy? Guys, if I was 100th time rich as them, famous as them, I would just not try anymore. I would just relax, DJ Khaled, you know, they don't believe in us. And then just relax and do nothing. Just eat, watch YouTube. I wouldn't even do anything, guys. Why are they trying so hard? And it makes me think maybe that's why they're so talented and famous and popular. It's because they don't stop keep trying. I don't understand how they do that. Guys, can I be honest? I literally got satisfied when I hit 100,000 follower on Instagram and I lost the desire to actively promote on Instagram because I felt like this is famous enough. I don't need to prove myself anymore. I literally felt that, you know, which is how terrible is that? Like, people always want to settle. I know it's not terrible for me to feel this way, and recently, I know this is a little bit depressing talk. I've been feeling, am I being too satisfied with myself? As in, I'm satisfied with my life right now, but maybe that satisfaction was holding me back from moving higher and further. Because I'm already so loving the life that I stream with you guys and I talk to you guys and make music, I don't try harder. I don't try hard enough. You can be satisfied and chase more. That's true. But I think it's very difficult. I think sometimes the desperateness is very important in music. Are you guys satisfied with your current life? As in your career, your income, your grades? Are you guys satisfied with it? I mean, I'm not completely satisfied. 100% not. 100%. Yes, no, I guess some mixed responses. You know what I thought was really difficult? I'm sorry I'm just yapping. Please don't mind me. I feel like there's a irony where satisfaction and happiness can't coexist with ambition and striving and desperateness. What I mean by that is, especially as a musician, but I'm pretty sure it's same for all jobs, where in order for you to keep feeling motivated to go up, you have to feel what you lack in yourself so that you push yourself to get better and better. But at the same time, that sensation of lacking yourself makes your self-confidence goes down and you become less happier. And there's a lot of musicians who end up being satisfied with themselves. Do you know what happens to them? They stop trying. At least from the external side. Have you guys seen those musicians who are satisfied? They don't make music as desperate as they did before. They're already satisfied. So is being satisfied really the right thing? So ultimately, being satisfied with your work, being satisfied with yourself, and improvement and desperateness, this is very hard to coexist. Accepting yourself right now might mean this is where your growth ends. Because if you're truly satisfied, you wouldn't have as much desire to go further. Not everyone wants to be at the very top. That's true. But what I'm afraid of is, I'm really afraid what I'm doing is self-justification. Because I've seen so many musicians who self-justify themselves, where their ability to not be successful, they self-satisfy saying, I never wanted to be popular. I'm happy as long as I get to make music by myself. And it makes me think, is that really true? Or are you simply saying that because you gave up trying to be loved by people? Do you see where I'm coming from? There's so many musicians around me who take music from a job to hobby level. And maybe it's because they really realized that they don't need people's approval. Maybe. Or is it that they gave up because they realized they can't get it? And is there a difference between the two? Is it really such a loser behavior to self-justify yourself? You overthinker. I'm sorry, I overthink a lot. And again, I'm saying this because I'm a musician, but I feel like this could apply to any other genre, any other career this could apply to. It's just that recently I've been feeling this a little bit more because among any other job career, K-pop idols are one of those careers where they're so young and relative to anybody in their age, in my opinion, they're giving their best. Sometimes they're even forced to give their best because company makes them. So it makes me think, wow, look at how fast they're running. It's not about how famous they are, it's more about how hard they're trying in life. No, I think all of this thinking is very immature in my opinion. Just consider this an immature yapping of 26-year-old. I think once I reach 30, I might have an answer to this. I feel like as a musician, the need to grow and be better needs to be there for music to be better and reach more goals. I agree, which is why I think a lot of musicians are unhappy. Do you guys agree? Not just idols, but don't you feel like so many musicians are unhappy, depressed? Obviously, they're happy musicians, but so many of them, because they strive for better, they're oftentimes very upset with themselves. Sometimes even looks, sometimes it's the music, sometimes it's the voice. Which is why I also think the mental health in the music genre is very unhealthy. The job makes them like that. I think it's actually same way for YouTuber or Instagram influencer. Any job that requires love and attention from people generally makes you push further and further. There is no stopping. You need to set goals. That's true. Maybe that's why setting goals is important. You know, going back to Mark again, I think Mark already had in mind that he was going to end this whole thing in the 10-year contract. So when the 10-year ended, he said, this is good enough, and left. Maybe I just realized, I think I'm understanding Mark's wisdom now. You know how, have you guys ever ran a marathon or 5K, 3K? When you run, you know the difference between running without knowing when you end versus running when you know how long you're running for? In my opinion, it's much easier to run when you know how much you're gonna run instead of someone telling you you need to run forever. So maybe it's better if there's a solid timeline that you set on yourself that makes it mentally easier. I'm not saying I'm gonna quit music after a certain age, like kind of similar to Mark, but maybe that's why you need to set goals. Guys, I literally feel like a baby understanding life a little, where maybe that's why you need to set goals. You don't set goals because you want to do better. You set goals so you don't get tired while you run towards the goal. Because if you don't set the goal, then it's too tiring to just try harder. And that's why you need to set a realistic goal, because if that goal is too far, you'll get discouraged while you're running there. Now I understand. And maybe that's why setting goals based on effort, like it's important to set goals by the input that you put in instead of the output, because if you set goals based on result, then the result fluctuates and it's not predictable and it's not something you could control. Yo, preaching like JYP. I never slept with a man, but may it be done to me. Let it be done to me. Wait. For anyone who might not know, you have to see the JYP meme. I'm not saying this. It's a meme. It's a meme. I promise. I promise. I promise. I feel motivated now. Okay, continuing the talk. You guys wanna hear a really interesting story? You know, have you guys ever watched those motivational videos or motivational TED Talks and felt very motivated with life? Or working out. Oh, I should work out hard. I used to think those videos were helpful. And then I used to think, oh, actually those videos only give you temporary boost. You know, there's no point of watching them because they don't help you in the long run. But recently, I came to a real new understanding, guys. You know those motivational videos? Some people might consider them, oh, they don't actually make you productive. No, it's actually good. I think you need to watch motivational video every once in a while to refresh yourself. Because I used to think they're just word playing, but even if it's wordplay, you need to refresh it. Because I saw this really interesting interview from this Korean webtoon artist. He got a question saying, from one of his students said, I don't really feel like drawing unless I see really inspirational work. Then it gives me motivation to draw again. But then after a few months, I lose that again. And I have to search for something that gives me motivation. Am I weak by the fact that I have to constantly search for that inspiration? And he said, you know, the famous webtoon artist said, that's not weak. All people need to have that inspiration every once in a while. You can't just forever move by yourself. Exactly, like when I read the work Blue Giant, it made me cry and made me, you know, decide I need to make music. And I kind of thought using those TED Talks was kind of bad. I thought it was like, I'm relying on them for me to be motivated. See, I'm not self-motivated. This is the proof that I'm weak. No, but everyone's weak. We all lose motivation. So we just need to fuel it in, just like how cars need to fuel in oil and gas. We need to also fuel our motivation using external sources. For me, recently, believe it or not, it was Mark. Mark just gave me that motivation. Is there anyone that you guys have been recently motivated by? Anything, any person? I was also motivated by Han, by his solo work. Because they're in a similar age as me, it gives me even more inspiration. Martin is a very good motivation. Your cousin. Exactly. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could be a real life person. Me? Guys, I feel very embarrassed if you say it's me because I don't really feel like I'm someone who... Yeah. Actually, even if I'm not perfect, maybe I could possibly work as someone else's motivator. Yes. Maybe we could work as each other's motivator, where you guys motivate me and I motivate you guys. Well, you're authentic. That's the only thing I always try to keep. It's because I don't necessarily feel like I'm the funniest person. I don't really feel like I could be best at different areas. So I thought, well, at least I could be honest. Do you sort of see where I'm coming from? It's hard to be smartest. It's hard to be the most handsomest. But it's not too difficult to be the most authentic, most genuine. You just have to be yourself. Anyone could be genuine or authentic. So here's the thing, guys. I'm obviously not saying I'm always saying the truth. No, guys, I have a dirty little secrets. I have my personal, the private life that I could never be exposed. You know, like I have my own dirty little fantasies. I don't even know what to say. You guys get what I'm saying. And I act like I act like I dress well and I, smell good. But then right after stream, I take the shirt off and I dress into Ratatouille shirt. And then I put my headband up and I look like a nerd. You know what I literally do after stream? I turn off the camera. I take off all my ice, everything. Take the shirt off. Put my Ratatouille thingy or the Dobby from Harry Potter looking tank top, and then put the shirt on, the headband, and then apply the acne cream. I look so... Even his voice changed. Exactly. You already look like a nerd. I look like nerd squared. I look like nerd cubed. It's not even the same level. Show us? Should I? Well, maybe before I clock out today, maybe I could show you guys. This is me clocking out, okay? Alright. So I take off my ice one at a time. Take off my rings. Take off my earrings. And then I put my headband on. Ice from Ross? No, this is all gifted from Yobi's. Okay, let me change my shirt. Put my Ratatouille shirt. And then I apply my acne cream. God, why is it not working? Yeah. Okay, wait. Maybe I don't need to be this authentic. Oh wait, why am I doing this? Wait, I just realized why did I do this? Why did I do this on stream? Wait, why did I do this? Why am I ruining my own image like this? Anyway, no, I just want to show you guys that like I don't always, you get what I'm saying? Anyway, all right, cuties, it was fun today, and I'll see you guys again. Hope you guys are all hope we all live a good life. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you, cuties. Thank you for listening today.